Good morning, everyone. My name is Rhonda. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I am a community leadership consultant. Welcome to How to Start a Club webinar with the CLC's part of ThunderWeek 2020. I also want to share some tips to enhance today's program experience. ASL interpretation is available and should be visible throughout the presentation. If you cannot see the interpreter, try switching to the gallery view in the top right corner of the Zoom window, and then pin the interpreter by clicking the three dots in their Zoom window. This program is being recorded and will be available on the CLS YouTube page in a few days. If you have a question for us during the presentation, please use the Q&A feature. Click the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen to type in your questions. You can add questions at any time. We'll be having a Q&A portion near the end of the presentation. We cannot see or hear our attendees, so if you have a technical problem or event question, use the chat feature. Click on the chat button to reach the session host. You're also welcome to use the chat function throughout the program to connect with other attendees. We will also be asking you throughout the presentation to engage with us in the chat over some reflection questions based on community and your experiences. Now I'm going to hand it over to Anna to go over the check-in reminder.
We would also appreciate it if you could check in using the Google form. The URL is being posted in the chat. By checking in, you help us keep track of how many students we are serving with these programs and to get to know a little bit more about you. Thank you for your support. I would also like to invite you, my fellow CLC, Genoa Wingo, who will lead us in the land acknowledgement.
We would now like to collectively take a moment to acknowledge all Indigenous and First people of the land and space in which we live and breathe. For our community at Highline College, we recognize that we are on occupied Duwamish, Coast Salish, and Muckleshoot and Puyallup lands. And we want to thank all relation and tribes today as we prepare to hold space as a community. We recognize that all of us are joining this conversation from different areas. So we also want to invite you to reflect and thank Indigenous and First people of the land and spaces in which you are coming from. For more information on whose land you are occupying, you can text your zip code to 907-321-5085. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna Ulloa. My pronouns are she, her. My major at Highline is biology. This is my second year at Highline. And a fun fact about me is that I love chocolate.
My name is Genoa Wingo. I go by he, him. I'm studying integrated design. And a fun fact about me is I like to travel.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Elaine. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm majoring in biology, and I'm hoping to transfer to UW in fall 21. A fun fact about me is that I can speak 2 languages. And also I like to introduce other 2 team members, Brandon Topofia and James Kirathi. They both are not able to be with us here, but throughout the year, they will be one of the CLS that can help you with your events and support your clubs. Thank you.
As community leadership consultants, we work for the Center for Leadership and Service, also known as CLS. Thomas Bowie He is our director for the center and service. Marta Reeves is our program manager. Amy Bernstrom is our program and marketing leadership advisor, also known as MOD. And Georgia Perry is the CLC's boss. She's also known as club program and leadership advisor. Why create or join a club? It gives you opportunities to network and build a friendship within the school community. It gives you chances to create events that promote community at Allen College. You can also develop social and leadership skills as well, and you can make your college application more appealing. In the chat, please, what clubs slash organizations have you guys been involved with so far? And could you please put that in the chat?
Somebody said I was in the permaculture club before school went virtual. I was part of the Society of Professional Journalists in my undergrad, the Filipino American Student Association, FASA, Book Review Club. These are really great clubs. The Polynesian Student Alliance. Uh, in college, I was in the College Ecology Club. We did a lot of events that educated fellow students on environmental issues. None so far. That's okay. That's why we're here. In middle school, I was in the Cartoony Club. Oh, that's a cute name. So, community during a pandemic. There are currently three pandemics affecting us, which is the systematic racism, climate change, and COVID 19. And I know that all of this, plus our normal lives, is so stressful. And just having a group of people who you can talk to about an interest of yours or who you identify with can be really helpful to help you survive this crisis.
During these times, it's important to stay connected with one another. Participating in clubs can help you stay connected to the Highline College community. In the chat, how have you all been staying connected to our community during this pandemic?
I know one of the ways that I've been connected during the pandemic, especially with my family, is a lot of Zoom. So I call my mom and I've even called my grandma, which is really funny because she put the camera so close to her face and I'm like, Grandma, I can still hear you. But it's the cutest thing. Um, Somebody said I started using Marco Polo during the pandemic. I don't really know what that is. FaceTime is my new go-to and Zoom game nights. Oh, that's cute. I play Animal Crossing with my older sister. Phone calls, FaceTime, Zoom, and oh my god, yes, Amy. Marco Polo is a good app. Zoom, FaceTime, Messenger. Marco Polo is a video messenger recording app. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Club's vision. The club slash organization are essential part of Highline College community. They have been organized by Highline students with common interests and career goals. Clubs offer comfortable atmosphere for students to experience personal growth, gain leadership, meet new friends, and share common interests. And for me personally, I feel that um, clubs are a big part of Highline. Working here so far, I feel that it gives me the opportunity to be around things that I normally wouldn't be. So I feel that it does help you grow as a person, and it gives you leadership skills by um, it gives you leadership skills by being involved with other people that are around you.
Types of clubs. So all clubs at Highline are student-led, student-initiated, meaning that it's organized by student and it's also led by student. And a Highline clubs is more like a community space where students can share their interests, their goals with other people and build connections. So student can really start any type of club at Highline. However, students usually tend to create club within 5 types of clubs or like themes, like the identity base, cultural base, community base, academic interests, or career interests. And an example of an identity-based club is the American Sign Language Club, which the club leader named AJ. He created this club because he wanted to build community and he wanted to share his sign language with his peers at Highline. And another example is the Arabic Club, which is a cultural based club at Highline. And the Arabic Club has been really an active club at Highline in the last few years. And in fact, I was the club president in the past school year. And as a club leader, I had really fun, like just connecting with people, building connections, making friendships, and just creating really fun events at Highline with my vice president, Ferris, and the club advisor, Sam. And like some of the cool events that we had was the magic carpet, where we brought some cultural clothes from our countries and we made fresh falafel on campus where students really liked, and we just put a lot of decorative stuff that are related to our culture. And I think being a student leader is really helped me like grow as a person, not just as a student leader. I've gained so much experience from being a leader. And we also, as a club leader, we were able to connect with other clubs at Highline and also clubs outside of Highline. So we connected with the Arab Student Association at University of Washington, Seattle. So we're able to invite them over to our events and we went over to their event. So that was really cool. And yeah, I think it's really nice to have a club. And you don't really have to be a club leader. You can just join clubs and be a member. Next slide, please. So what we do as CLCs. So there are 5 of us in the team, and we're called the Community Leadership Consultant or CLCs. And as a club leader, as CLCs, our main role is to support club leaders, whether starting their club, getting their recognition process or certification process, with their event planning. We can either also do consultation and leadership growth. We're really just there for them to help them with whatever they need to make their club successful. And some of the services that we offer is Zoom meetings and webinars, one-on-one consultation and support. Usually they have to like ask for an appointment, and we can also connect them to the mod team to um, promote for their events on social media or create flyers when we're on campus, and also to help them purchase materials and services for their events and meetings. So the clubs at Highline are two types: recognized clubs and certified clubs. And recognized clubs are usually when students come with an idea and they have at least 5 minimum Highline enrolled students as members. And recognized clubs can meet Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. on campus. But for this quarter, because of COVID-19, they can only meet on Zoom during this time, 8 to 5. And recognized club have full access to the club program and CLS support, resources, and funding. And as a recognized club, they are considered a voting member in the ASHC Council, and each recognized club will have one vote in the ASHC Council meeting. And certified club, they first must be a recognized club at Highline, and they must have a minimum membership of 10 enrolled Highline students. They also must have a faculty and staff advisor, but this advisor cannot be a CLS or CCIE faculty or staff. Also, they can meet 7 days a week and at any time. They can also meet off campus and they can travel within Washington State. However, for this school year, all travel is suspended due to COVID-19.
The recognized to certified timeline. So once you have your idea and 5 students want to be part of your club, you submit a registration form. This form, you can find it at CLS under forms. Um, Once you do that, we will process your application, and we will contact you to go through a 1 hour training. It doesn't usually doesn't last the hour, but around that time. Um, then you will be recognized at the next ASHC meeting. You do not have to be present for that, but I recommend that you do so you get to know about the whole process. And you can start meeting and creating your events. If you do want to become a certified club, you would need to have met 3 times and have 10 members that are Highline students. You complete the certification form, and the leaders have to go through a training. And for this, you do have to attend the ASHC meeting. Recognize club guidelines. You complete an approved club registration form. The president and the club leader must attend the 1 hour training. ACHC approves the club at the next meeting, and like I mentioned, you do not have to be present. And you need to maintain a membership of 5 enrolled Highline students. Certified club guidelines. For this, you need to be already a recognized club at Highline. You have to have met 3 times with a minimum membership of 10 students in the past school year. And just so you know, each club has to go through recognition each year. You complete and approve the club certification form, and you must have a faculty staff advisor. It can be a CLS or CCIE staff. The club president and the vice president have to go to the certification training, which is kind of the same thing as the recognition training. It only goes a little bit more in detail about the traveling that you guys can do in a regular school year. And then you must be present for this ACHC meeting, and we will ask you to talk about your club and some your vision for the community. Important forms. The club registration and approval, which you will fill out to start your club. The activities action form, you need to fill out an activities action form for meetings and every event that you want to create. If you need help with this, you can contact the CLCs. And we recommend that you do it 2 weeks before so your form can be processed. And then you do the club certification form. Once you're already a recognized Highline club, you need to have 10 members and meet at least 3 times in the year. And then materials and services requests. This is for any event or meeting that you would like help with materials. Pretend you want food, which is the biggest thing that clubs want because food attracts a lot of people. Unfortunately, um, during this time, it's only Zoom meetings, so there's no food. But we recommend that you do it 4 to 6 weeks before. And once you become a club, you a recognized club, you will get access to the toolkit where you have access to all of these forms. AHC voting responsibilities. We encourage club leaders to go to the AHC meetings because you have the opportunity to represent your community. You get to decide about new things that are submitted to ASHC Council. So once you're certified and recognized club, you serve as a voting member in ASHC Council meetings. Each club gets one vote. Even if more people decide to attend, you only get one vote. Um, but it doesn't have to be the club leader. You can send a representative and you can vote yes, no, or abstain. And for the council meetings, they follow the Robert's Rules of Order. And don't feel intimidated by this. Once you are a recognized club, we will go through it a little bit. And obviously, if you have any questions, just let us know. We can help you through it. So, how to contact us? These are the emails of the CLCs. We also have a club's email, which is usually the one that we would contact you through. And we have a phone number. So it's 206-592-3892. Now, for any questions that you guys might have.
Hi, all. So I am Georgia Peary, the club's leadership advisor. I use she, her pronouns. And now we're going to go ahead into the Q&A part of this webinar. We currently have one question in the Q&A, and there's an anonymous attendee has asked, are there any clubs for moms at Highline? So I will let the CLCs take this.
I know that there was a club called Moms Elevated last year. Don't think they have submitted a form, but if you would like to start your mom's club, that's great. There are a lot of moms in Highline who feel that they need the support. And after talking to one of the members, she was like, "Yeah, it's been great. Like you get to talk to people who are going through the same thing as you because having kids is adds a whole other level of responsibilities that you need to accomplish."
Okay, the next question is, can you bring materials to the club that you created? So I think maybe, and if this person wants to put in the chat if I am reading this wrong, is it maybe can they bring like their own supplies to meetings or events?
Yeah, I believe that you can. But I mean, the great thing about being a club at Highline is that you get the financial support of they can help you to get the materials. It's just a matter of being organized, like submitting the form on time. Anybody
Oh,
else want to add anything?
okay, well, there's another question. Are there STEM clubs at Highline besides Mesa?
I know there was a health and science club. I was part of it for a brief moment, but after COVID hit, they weren't active. So that's one. I'm not sure about any others. I think there was a biology club. I'm not sure.
I think there is a physics club also. So maybe you can join that too.
There is also computer science club, and women in engineering club as well. Okay, so this question is, how do I meet other moms? Like, there's no way to meet new members to get a club started since everything is on Zoom. So I think this person's kind of asking, how do they build community with other moms, even though we are in a virtual space? So if the CLCs have any tips on how to create that community in that virtual space.
A tip I have is to attend the events that Highline is already hosting, like ThunderWeek, or next week I think it's next week, the LGBTQ week. That way you get to know other people. They usually give us an opportunity to talk to our peers, because Highline is very interested in building community.
And then I see in the chat, someone's giving you all some work to do. And so we have our friend Anesi, who I believe Anesi wants to start a music club. So for anyone in the audience who's interested in music, he is asking that you send him the information to the recognition form right away so he can fill it out. So you all have something on your to-do list after this webinar is over. And Nessie also has a question in the chat that says, is there a wrestling club?
I don't think so, and I don't think that we will allow you guys to actually wrestle. You guys can like practice techniques, but they can't be like physical contact.
That's pretty correct. I would also add that if you like have an idea for a club, but you're unsure if it's possible, come talk to the CLCs and then they can work through that with you. Oh, this is a good one. So our next question is, how can I find club contacts for clubs? In Highline's website for clubs directory, it's currently blank.
Usually it will be there, but since clubs didn't get recognized yet and they don't have meetings and all that stuff set yet, so it's not updated. But once we have the council meeting next week, clubs will be recognized, and I think it'll be updated on the website later.
Rhonda, can you also let them know when that council meeting is coming up?
Sure. It's going to be next Tuesday. It usually happens every other Tuesday from 1:20 to 2:30.
All right. So this next question is, can Highline have open Zoom sessions to meet peers? I'll let the CLCs take this. So maybe they're asking, I don't know if Highline is specifically doing that, but maybe it's something that the CLCs can do, but I will let them answer that question.
I don't think we are doing it currently, but that is actually a great idea. Like just an hour or so where we can talk to each other and talk about our experiences, our dreams, hopes, and anything that you want.
All right, I think that's all the Q&A that we have. I also want to point out that per the last question, we do have some more cool Thunder Week events coming up. The CLCs are going to give some announcements about them, but specifically tomorrow afternoon, there's a global community potluck hosted by our global student ambassadors at 2 p.m. And as Amy Bergstrom has said in the chat, that's going to be an amazing time to come and be in community and meet other peers at Highline. Oh, and we have another question in the Q&A. So how can you combat anxiety when you want to join a club? So maybe if someone's like nervous about joining a club or starting one, how can that person kind of overcome their anxiety about that?
I would say you would contact the CLS and you guys, we can talk about your idea and then we can go from there. And then if you want to make a club, we can set you up with the forms. And then if you are worried about getting other people to join, we could also you could also go to the mod team for their social medias, um, where they can post about it to let other people know um, who's following them. Um, but I think those are some ways to help with anxiety.
Thanks, Genoa. Any other CLCs, Anna or Rhonda, want to chime in on that question too?
I think there are some resources at Highline where they can help you with anxiety, like the counseling center. They have, I think, Zoom meeting and it's totally free for students. So I would suggest that to maybe help you on top of like, you can also always come to us and we can help you with that. We can connect you with other clubs as well, just to make it easier for you to connect with people.
Okay, we have another question in the chat. Does the club leader training have icebreaker ideas that they can use in their club meetings for new members?
We do have an icebreaker. We don't have like a section of icebreaker ideas, but like if at the end you want some ideas, we can give you some of the things that we've done in our meetings. One a very fun one is the what's it called? Treasure hunting. Our club has been doing that one a lot. Or one that Georgia asks is, "How do you like your eggs?" Which is a really funny one because it's so random.
Matt thinks that's funny. Thanks, Matt. It is funny. I think that's all the questions we have. I don't see any more in the Q&A. So if you do still have questions, we will be here till 12:30. So submit them and the CLCs will be able to answer those for you. We're just gonna wrap up with some final announcements and some more plugs for our cool Thunder Week events. So I'm gonna share my screen again. And Genoa is going to take it away.
Thank you all for attending our program today. In the chat box, you'll find a link of our Thunder Week feedback. Your feedback is critical in enhancing our program. We would greatly appreciate your feedback and a reminder that if you did not check in when you arrived, please do so before you leave. Be sure to join us for more Thunder Week events this week. This afternoon at 2:30, we have our first Thunderbird Thursday. Our leadership program team will be leading a workshop centered around finding your leadership style. Then join us tomorrow morning for our final coffee with program hosted by Doris Martinez and Thomas Bowie. They will be chatting with representatives from Veteran Services, Achieve / Future Launch, Women's Programs, and Learning Communities. You can find the full Thunder Week schedule at cls.highline.edu/Thunderweek and follow CLS and CCIE on Facebook and Instagram to keep updated on our up and coming program and learn more about us and our student leaders. And if an email is more your speed, you can subscribe to our bi-weekly email newsletter. Thank you all for attending. We hope to see you soon, and thank you once again.
So we do have another Q&A. And this one is, I would love to hear what the students, what the CLCs also think, but I can also help answer this one. So someone asked, for the Connect program, do you only put in forms specific, from form specific leadership workshops like the one today? So the Connect program, to give you all the overview, is this great program that's hosted under the center, which is the Center for Leadership and Service and the Center for Cultural and Inclusive Excellence. Between the leadership advisors of those two offices, we oversee the Connect program, which is a great way for students to gain more leadership skills, learn about other leadership opportunities on campus. And we do ask that they submit a little reflection form after they go to one of those events. We're going to go more into depth about the Connect program at our leadership workshop later today. But yes, you can submit a form after this leadership workshop later today. And I don't know if the other students want to chime in about their experience with the Connect program. But yeah. Or not. Oh, and thank you, Edwina. Edwina's put in the chat links to the website that has more info on the Connect program. But if no one else has any more questions, please feel free to email clubteam@highline.edu. Email any of these humans here. They would be lucky and happy to answer any of your questions related to clubs. Again, you can find the club recognition form on the CLS website under forms. It's the bottom form on that webpage. And please reach out if you have any questions. But thank you for coming to our event, and we hope to see you later today at 2:30 for our first Thunderbird Thursday.